in the UK, thousands of protesters gathered in London yesterday in response to George Floyd's killing. Though the protests were largely peaceful, 13 arrests were made. And then at 6 o'clock last night, people across the country knelt on their doorsteps in a sign of solidarity. Well, our Ria Hebden was one of those who took part, and she joins me now. Ria, thank you for joining us this morning.
Morning, Lorraine.
You knelt on your doorstep. This was extremely important to you to do that.
Absolutely. It's all about everybody using their platform to raise awareness of police brutality here in the UK and in the US, and show solidarity with people who are protesting for the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, I'm mixed race. My dad's African American. He's from Memphis, Tennessee. My mum's white. She's from Yorkshire. So this really cuts deeply for me. You know, when I see images of African American men being killed by police in the broad daylight in 2020, it really hurts. It's not something that I ever thought, you know, would still be happening today when I went on the Black Lives Matter march back in 2014 to protest about the death of Eric Garner. And yet here we are 6 years later, these things are still happening. So it's definitely sparked conversations in my household with my 10-year-old boy, which I never thought I'd be having in 2020.
This is the thing, though, isn't it? How do you explain that? How can you explain that to your little boy?
Well, this is it. And it's sad, because I think what we have to ultimately do is educate ourselves and our children so that we understand that the structure of society is ultimately built on a system of privilege and oppression, which is organised by class and race. And once we understand that and where we sit within that structure, we then start to understand why some people go through life experiencing racism every single day and other people don't experience it at all. So it's about understanding that and having those conversations.
It's tough, though. It's really tough. Really difficult.
Tough.
I mean, I can appreciate it and I can sort of understand it, but as a white person, I don't live it. So yeah. I don't know. This is the thing. This is where we have to somehow all try to meet somewhere in the middle and not be afraid of having difficult conversations, because this is the thing. A lot of people shy away from it, Ria. You know that they do, and I don't think that's a good way. That's a good way forward, because you know the issues are still there, festering away.
Completely. There is systematic racism within our social structures, in education, in the police, in legal structures. So it's about understanding those and communicating those and talking to people. It's about being aware of your own unconscious bias, about having uncomfortable conversations about race with people that you don't even know, so that you become comfortable in having these conversations so you can actually make a difference. There's some brilliant books out there that I recommend people read. Akala has written a fantastic book called Natives, which is about British class and race. There's some fantastic children's books that I'm reading to my children. One's called Let's Talk About Race by Julius Lester, and another one is called All Welcome Here by Alexandra Penfold. And these books just help to educate children and help them understand diversity and their place in the world. But there are lots of little things we can be doing individually as well. Educating ourselves, having these conversations, voting to empower people in positions where they can really impact change. And also, you know, looking at the brands that you spend your money with. Do they reflect the values and ethics that you live your life by? If they don't spend money with them.
Well, Ria, as you know only too well, you mentioned it already, we have walked this way before. Do you think this is a watershed moment, as it has been called? Or are we going to be here again in a couple of years' time? I hope not.
I'd like to believe that we really can make a difference, and it's about people, everybody, not just Black people. The onus is not on Black people to fix this. Everybody watching can play a small part in impacting everlasting change, so that my child and your child don't have to go on Black Lives Matter marches in 10, 15 years' time.
Ria, thank you very much. Always good to talk to you, of course, but I really welcome your perspective on it. Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. We've all got to keep educating ourselves and talking to one another, not be scared to do that for fear of saying the wrong thing. You know, that's the trouble. Better to say the wrong thing and clear it up than to say nothing.
Just get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, and it just makes it easy.